Don't be hating. Don't be placating. We are talking about something that no one loves, but everyone needs. Yelps and reviews, baby.
Oh.
That is what's up right now. If you think for 1 second that you don't need Yelp and you don't need reviews, you are losing your mind if you're a service provider.
But let's talk about how this is. Like, anybody could be the keyboard warrior. They're like, I hate you, and I'm too afraid to tell you in real life. So because I'm too afraid to stand up and tell you face to face because I'm a pussy, I'm going to come and I'm going to write bad about your business. So to me, like, you better ask for help before you Yelp. But there's times where you do ask for help before you Yelp, and then you don't get that resolution, and it's kind of
right.
So let's talk about you being the business owner.
Absolutely.
And what you should do when your customer asks for help before they Yelp.
I absolutely love it.
I hate this
When a customer calls me and they're like, I got a problem.
Yeah.
Why? Why do I love it? And why should you love it? Is because they are giving you an opportunity to resolve the situation. And that is the most important thing, is that you get the opportunity to resolve a problem that you don't even know about yet.
Right.
Before they go and try and trash you online all over the universe. And that's bad taste, customers. That's bad taste. If you are a customer and you have a bad experience, you better ask for help. You better talk to somebody about your problems. There's no way that you're going to get a solution unless you speak about it. Just like if you're an employee and you have a problem with your employer, there's no way your employer is going to know there's a problem unless you talk about it.
It's absolutely the worst for me, where you go through the whole entire transaction with the customer. Everything's fine. You call for a happy call afterwards. Everything's great. And then all of a sudden they leave you a bad Yelp review or a bad review on Google, whatever it is. And you're like, what the hell? Like, I went through all these different ways directly to make sure that you were happy. So let's talk about people being crappy. People are crappy because they're afraid to tell you to your face.
And they're miserable in their own lives.
Or they feel like now they have this platform, like, to where they can stand and say, like, I was taken advantage of. Where you as a business owner, like, you sacrificed everything in your life to start this business and to, like, do better, be the difference, and go beyond the service for your customer. So if your customer comes to you first and asks you or tells you, I'm not happy, you need to find a compromise.
You better listen.
I can't tell you how many times.
And you should be thanking them for calling you.
Oh, totally. People get, like, how many times you see where, like, people on Facebook are like, I'm so mad this customer called and complained. I'm like, be happy that this customer is calling you and giving you the opportunity to change it.
Rectify shit. Yep.
Maybe rewrite your policies or your processes to kind of make sure that you're avoiding that customer or any future customers from feeling like that again.
Right. I think that's the most important thing, because what did we talk about? We talked about our product. Our product is you and how you are making your customer feel in any buying situation or any service situation. So when it comes down to somebody saying that they're dissatisfied with the service or the product as this technician that was out at the house, you know what? Not everybody is a match, and that's okay.
And that's so hard to hear.
But what you need to do as a business owner or a manager or a service technician, you need to put that to the wayside and be like, I understand the situation that I was not meshing with this person correctly, but you know what? I think you need to know your clientele, which if you're a business owner, your clientele is actually your employees. And if you have to know your employees and know which person is going to fit this customer's needs. And I know that's a very hard thing to do, but it comes to personality. You have to know your employees' personalities and who's going to work best with this person, who's going to protect your branding and support your customer at the same time.
But you can't always do that. Let's be realistic. Like, you have a new customer calling in, you can't be like, I'm a fucking matchmaker. Like, matchmaker, make me. Like, you can't be that person. Like, you have to make sure that you're trying to make all of your employees as consistent as possible based on the service experience. But regardless, people are who they are. People, we will always have mis-expectations. And when you have that mis-expectations, it's all about how you're remedying the situation. So if your customer comes to you first and says, hey, I am pissed about X, Y, and Z, and you're like, hey, F your X, Y, and Z, you bet your ass
You better
that customer
expect
is going
what
to
you're gonna
come
get.
back and they're going to ruin your reputation. Now, nowadays, we have to be realistic based on the ways that the customers find you. And we all know the customers read what kind of reviews? Negative.
Negative reviews.
Before they read the positive.
They
They want to know
There's
what you
so
did
many
wrong.
positives,
Yes.
but the thing is that they want to read the negative ones because they want to see how you were going to reciprocate with that, how you're going to deal with that problem and juggle it with what you have going on. They want to feel like if there's a problem with anything that happens, that it will be solved and they are going to get what they are asking for the money that they're paying for.
And like, honestly, I'm probably the worst person when it comes to business. With all of the trade shows and companies that we come across all over the United States, somebody's like, hey, this is my company. The first thing that I do is I internet stalk you. I will immediately find your company on social media, find you on Google. I'm going to read all your reviews.
And we're going to be
that,
like,
honestly,
duh, that makes sense.
That's how, even as an outside consumer and a mutual business owner, I'm going to create my expectations, or not, I shouldn't say expectation, first impression of your business. So I see businesses very well established, like multi-million-dollar, like coming through a year. A customer's going to leave a bad review. You don't even respond.
God.
You don't even respond to this customer telling you that they had the worst experience with your business. You're telling all of your potential customers that much more. You don't care.
You don't care.
To me, that's horrible.
If you own a corporation, any big corporation, it doesn't matter. You better hire a crew that this is what they do is customer resolve. And you better be respectful to every review that you have online. You better be thankful, and you better resolve it in some kind of way. We've had situations before, many situations. Let's talk about the situations that we've had and how we've resolved them.
Okay, so we've had customers in our own business to where out of nowhere they come through, it's like negative, and they all come through like at 2:00 in the morning. So for me, I'm like, oh, they're tweakers. Like,
that's the funniest thing is the times that they actually do the review.
It's like in the middle of the night.
Right, because it'll be when no one else is awake. It's not normal.
But here's
so
the
you're
way,
thinking like psychologically they're messed up, but realistically they have a point some of the time.
Here's the way I look at it, and I've said this before in past episodes. Like, hurt people will hurt people. Like, you have to understand the way that your service is going to affect this person emotionally, financially, all these different ways. And you have to take a step back and put yourself into your customer's position.
And sometimes you don't know that until everything's done, right?
So let's talk about a friend of mine. This is not a service-oriented company. This is a large chain restaurant. They went to a restaurant, and on the menu, it had a little asterisk based on the stipulations as to what was a unlimited refill and what was not an unlimited refill, okay? So a friend of mine, I love them dearly, but I tell them all the time, hey, before you Yelp, ask for help. He actually did that, and I'm really proud of him. So he told me that he saw on the menu that he was entitled to unlimited refills because it didn't have an asterisk next to the beverage itself. The only ones that had the asterisk said it was not eligible for an unlimited refill. All right, we're going to get really serious right now, okay?
You better wrap this up. You better hurry up.
I can't even remember what it was. It was like a blueberry lemonade or something. So he asked for another refill, and he was told no. So when he asked for the manager came over and told him, I will not honor this. Here's my thing. As the business owner, what is the actual loss that you are going to experience for the cost of making your customer happy versus making your customer unhappy? How much did it actually cost that establishment to give him 2 more refills as an unlimited refill, but really check their marketing to make sure that they're reducing that from happening again or preventing it from happening again?
Or just and explaining the situation. So it's like, hey, I'm sorry, sir. That's actually not part of the unlimited refill thing, but I will do it this one time.
Exactly.
And like, just keep them happy. Keep them wanting to come back and understand your policies, okay? And sometimes it's not easy for your customers to understand your policies because, let's face it, if you're doing something, you're buying something, I'm not gonna read your policies. I don't care about your policies. I'm gonna expect what I expect, and you better meet that standard without me telling you.
Without reading your contract. Without reading your contract, I expect you to give me things that aren't contract.
So we're gonna
reel it. We
need to reel it back into Yelp, okay? We're gonna reel this back into Yelp. So Yelp has awesome pros and cons, okay? If you don't have a Yelp page, you're a fool to think that you don't need it to survive in business and you just have word of mouth. It depends also on if you want to actually grow your business or stay stagnant and drop off the face of the planet.
I just want to be clear really quick for all of our viewers and our listeners. We do not endorse Yelp by any means whatsoever. I actually think Yelp is the devil, the absolute devil.
Absolutely.
But we don't endorse it. It's just something that has come to our society to where being a small business owner, like, you have to have.
You gotta pay to play. I'm just gonna say, you gotta pay to play. So we had this customer, and I like going to customers because these are real life experiences that we've had, and this is how we've dealt with them. So we had a customer that we did service for 4 years prior.
Five.
Oh, five?
5.
5 years prior.
I just
writes this review. I finally found this company that absolutely ripped me
off for $60.
Right? And we're like, we're so happy you contacted us. What can we do to resolve the situation? Actually, that's not how it happened, because he said, if you want to rectify this situation, you will DM me.
He wrote us privately. So here's the thing, like, you guys have to understand, business owners get blackmailed by reviews. How is that legal? That is absolutely ridiculous. You have to understand these people are giving up so much of their life, like everything that they have to provide a service, and people can come through and say, I'll take that review down if you give me all of my money back. You better work for free. To me, that is absolutely asinine. So if you were that type of person to where you think that you're going to go get your $60 back and steal from people, I hope you're saying your prayers before you go to bed every night. Honestly.
But you know what?
It's absolutely horrible.
So here's the irony in the whole situation, which I absolutely love. So it was a drywall repair.
It was not a drywall.
Yes, it was. We did a leak detection. We cut a hole in the wall, and we told them before, we have a written contract saying we are not responsible for drywall, and you understand it. They literally initialed that they understood that we're not responsible for drywall. They wrote us the bad review because we didn't patch the drywall 5 years later.
Even though it's in our contract.
When they were trying to sell the house. So the point is that they wanted their $60, which is nothing, and it wasn't even us who hired us. It was another company that hired us to come in and do this work. And what had happened was this guy, he's like, I want my $60 back.
That's what she said.
You know the lengths that this gentleman went for the $60? He drove an hour and a half both ways. That's 3 hours of driving to get the $60 back. This is not right in the head.
I want everybody to understand that you were dealing with all kinds of different psychological issues, financial issues. When people are broke, when people don't have money, psychological issues really come to the forefront. And you have to understand that sometimes at the end of the day, maybe that person needed that $60 more than you. For me, I'm a philanthropist. Sure, take this $60 back. I'm giving back to my community.
And does
it mean that it's okay that this person is taking out of my kids' mouths? Absolutely not.
They don't think about that, though.
But at the end of the day, in today's society, we have to think about our online reputation.
Absolutely. So
I see
sacrifice for the greater good. So what happens is you have to give them, I'm like literally sick to my stomach for saying this. You have to give them what they want. They didn't deserve it, but you have to give it to them.
You know why? I feel like, here's my thing. I get a lot of these customer relations type of phone calls sometimes, and I feel like at the end of the day, it's not worth my time, my energy, or me losing
your emotions.
Sleep.
Right.
Absolutely. I can be
angry. Take your emotions out of it.
I can be angry. I can be frustrated. I could try and threaten these people because they're frustrated and they're emotional. But at the end of the day, sometimes it's better for us just to say,
F it.
Absolutely.
But here's the thing is that when you I've lost my train of thought because that's just what I.
It's really hard. So let's talk about how small business owners react. I see people responding to negative reviews, basically trash talking the customer.
Absolutely, right back.
I think that your response has got to be 100% professional, understandable, but not attacking. You can never attack your customer because once you receive that bad customer experience review online, your response has got to be 100%, spot on. Your potential customers are also reading the way that you respond to that. So if you respond in a really shitty way, they're going to think you are a shitty customer. It doesn't freaking matter what you say to try and defend yourself against that customer. All that the potential customer wants to see is that you remedy the situation.
Hold on, I got to stop you because I just remembered what I was going to say. So here's what it is. How much do you pay for leads? How much does it cost you to gain one lead?
Oh,
sometimes
$35 to $60.
Sometimes $35, $60, $100.
Just to get this person's information.
So is that $60 that this person wanted back in their bank account worth losing the potential customers that I paid for already?
We've gone to trade shows. We've gone to trade shows before.
So if you're paying for leads that you're paying $30 to $60 to $100 for, what's just giving this guy $60 back gonna do to you when you're already paying the price to do this stuff? This can go on and on forever. We're gonna wrap this up. If you like this visual, audio performance by either YouTube or podcast, you can watch either or. If you're working, podcasts are awesome. If you're sitting at home in bed Sunday night and you ain't got nothing to do, watch this show because we get off on this. Say what's up to Mechanical Hub. Subscribe to this.
Come get me off on this.
Oh,
so before you Yelp, you better ask for help. This is just for all people involved. Like, you guys will understand there's a lot of small business owners that really, truly do give a shit about the reputation. Thank you for tuning in. Baby, I love you. You look so handsome in that shirt.
Oh, damn, girl. You look good on the Mechanical Hub shirt. Give it to me, baby.
We'll see you guys next week. Have a great day.